So hello and welcome to another episode of The Real Franchise. This video series is designed to deliver real information and real answers into franchising. This series is brought to you by James Home Services Australia. My name is Justin Kelly. I'm one of the owners of the company, and we are joined today by Greg Morrison. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you, Justin.
Well, today's episode actually is going to be a bit different to some of the ones I've been doing because, as you know, Greg, each week I interview people in our business. You're actually now part of the head office team, and all the people I deal with coming through the information process, looking at whether or not business is for them, having their own business, all of the people are in transition, are, either coming out of employment, either coming out of, fly in, fly out jobs in the mines. But today I want to focus on a bit of your story, because today I want to talk about transitioning out of the ADF, out of the military, and that was a bit of your story, wasn't it? You've come from the ADF?
Correct, yep. I did 8 years in the Air Force.
Okay. And what did you do in the Air Force?
I was lucky that I worked in the IT field, so something that was able to be transferred readily into, in normal, outside of the Defence Forces.
Yep. Okay, great. And so what's your role today?
Well, these days I'm actually a business coach for head office, so I help assist new business owners start their businesses.
Right, okay. So people that are transitioned out of something into their own business.
Yeah, correct.
Right, okay. And I guess going back to when you came out of the ADF, where was your head at the time? What was going through your mind? Was there things you were worried about, stressed about, unsure about? Can you recall?
I certainly can. Obviously, so I'd spent 8 years in the Air Force working in IT, and when it was time to leave, a lot of the structure around the day-to-day I realised was going to disappear.
Yep.
Whilst my skills transferred readily into an employable asset, the life we had grown accustomed to, my wife and myself had grown accustomed to, was going to change drastically, and that for me was very, very concerning. Well, not concerning, just made you apprehensive.
Yeah, weren't sure. Was there anything that surprised you sort of the most about that whole transition that you weren't expecting?
Funnily enough, it's actually not being able to see the structure based on a uniform. So the young guy in a polo shirt in that office over there, who happened to be the chief financial officer of the company, as against the older gent in the corner in the three-piece suit, who was just Brian from accounts.
Yeah.
And not being able to differentiate. Who sat where on the totem pole.
Yeah, you couldn't look at their shoulder and see who you had to. Right. Okay. And what were some of your biggest challenges then? I guess other than identifying who's who on the chain.
What's interesting is that from a work perspective, I wasn't concerned about my skills.
Yep.
I went and worked for a company. Those skills were, like I said, readily transferable. I had confidence in my skills. I had confidence to work around the people that were there.
Yeah.
But from an outside, from both perspectives of in work and out of work, is things like in the Defence Force, if I needed to make a dental appointment, you just hit speed dial on the phone.
Yeah.
Or a medical appointment. Or you wanted to go and organise something, or you played sport. Or you're going to the bar to have a drink. It was all there. It was very contained within the base. And outside of the base, the support from other defence groups and things like, what daycare should I be sending my school to. My wife at the time was able to get the best advice from the other neighbours. Yeah, all of those sort of things, right down to potential work opportunities for herself, not being part of the Defence Force. Coming out of that to a very isolated, not knowing your neighbours, not having a common thing being the Defence Force. To be able to just wave at somebody and have a chat because you know they've got a defence background. That was more confronting than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yep. And did you find then that you struggle at times with, I guess, identity or purpose or?
Again, not so much from a work perspective, although I suppose I did. I had a very direct conversation with my boss when I left about a month in to the new job. And his response to me was, I don't pay you to sit in the corner of these meetings. I pay you for your opinion. I was a corporal when I left the Air Force. So if you sat in some of these meetings, there were a lot of high-ranking officials there.
Yeah.
And your 2 cents was really felt like it was worth 2 cents to take that mindset into a corporation of going, this is the direction I believe we need to be heading in, and these are the pitfalls that if we don't, that's a private conversation to have with my immediate manager to work its way up the tree, and his answer to that was, I didn't employ you to do that. I employed you to have an opinion and to voice it. That was difficult.
Yes.
And probably like I said, the other part was just that social part of trying to join the cricket team or whatever. It's not on the base. It's not. You're not talking to the bloke next door in the next office to go, hey, you play cricket, or you're going to the gym this afternoon, or which is in the next building.
Okay. And is there parts that you miss about that when you
look at a lot of exactly that?
It's just a lot easier to catch up with the blokes and do stuff.
No, don't get me wrong. We've actually just relocated and have quickly become on speaking terms with our neighbours and helped each other out and been to the pub and stuff. But we're also in a bit of a rural, or not in a big city. Let's put it that way. And I felt those challenges more when I was living in Brisbane about how well did you want to get to know your neighbours?
Yes, I'm with you. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess looking back, is there any advice that you'd give to someone who's recently left or is looking at leaving the Defence Force? Just a bit of a heads up.
Depending on the situation of what you're doing moving forward, if you're going to employment, obviously you've got an income stream straight away. You may be relying on benefits. You may be just walking away. My advice is to truly understand your financial position for a start, and what that might mean moving forward. Actually, that was another thing that wasn't so much a shock, but it was like I lived in what were called married quarters at the time. Rentals were rent rates were quite low.
Yes.
To come back out to the real world was not a shock, but like I knew it. To see that money have to come out every week or fortnight or month was like, bloody hell. So financial position, absolutely. One of the other things is to just, if you sit and don't involve yourself in community, whether it be sport, whether it be having a social drink, whether it be a church thing, whether it be gardening and getting to chatting to your neighbours, if you sit and dwell, it'll build up inside you. You need to get involved. You need to get involved. You need to be social for your mental health.
Yeah, agree. Yeah. Okay. Now, I guess changing gears a bit, you ended up joining James as a business owner, buying a business. And so that's sort of another massive transition, one out of the ADF into employment. But I guess, when did business ownership for you first become something that you considered as an option?
I started to lose a bit of passion for the IT industry.
Yep.
So suddenly it became a job. Yeah. And I had a commute to put up with.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't enjoying it. So it took a couple of years to go from, I don't think I'm enjoying this like I used to actually leave. But
yeah,
it just got into my head that I don't want to do this anymore, which meant that if I moved jobs to another company, I still wasn't going to enjoy it. That, like I said, that passion had just diminished.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was looking outside, and realistically, from when I very first started looking at what else I could do that didn't involve, like I could potentially have run my own business with an IT flavour, but if I wasn't enjoying IT, what was I really doing?
Yeah.
So to take that step was probably one of the most challenging things I ever did.
So you went from IT to a cleaning business.
Yep.
How did you find that? Like, how did you come up with that? Like, that's a total industry shift, career shift. What made you pick a cleaning business, and what made you pick James?
So, like I said, I was looking for something else to do. I had a substantial income, but I also still had kids in high school.
Yeah.
I had a lot of life. I had life left to live and pay for.
Yeah. Yep.
So I knew I needed to be able to make enough money for us to live the lifestyle we wanted to live.
Yeah.
Now, if I had have changed industry but just started as an employee again,
yep,
that timeline was going to take a long time. It was going to impact us drastically. I had some friends and family who run their own businesses.
Yep.
Spoke with a lot of people, and believed that I could turn a business into a profitable situation to, get us back to where we were in a short period of time.
Yep.
So that's what got me looking at what types of businesses I felt comfortable with.
Yep.
But also didn't have. So I felt I could be successful because I managed people, I had managed expectations, I felt I had a good work ethic, believed I could communicate well with people, clients in this case, and felt that I could I could do this, but I wasn't sure how to do it.
Yeah.
So then I did go looking. I looked at several different organisations that do supported networking, franchising, if that's the word you're looking for, but to give people a business ownership with a supported structure around them.
Yeah. So that was important.
Fill in the gaps I didn't know.
Yeah. 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 And I guess, so what led you to James? Was there anything in particular that stood out because you were looking at a whole range of options?
The professionalism shown by the people that were involved.
Yeah.
So Stuart, who became my business coach, and yourself and other people within the organisation, but also the methodology or the platform around the structure of running a business. You guys have been doing this for years, and it felt like a good culture fit for myself.
Okay. Yep.
So, yeah, it just felt like you plugged a lot of gaps in regards to what I needed to be able to run a business as against trying to do it myself, and then realizing that I didn't know what I needed to have a business registration set up. I didn't know what questions to ask my accountant. I didn't know how to market my business. Yeah, all of those, the list goes on and on. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's systems, I guess, for that and support for that in a structure. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, thinking back to the ADF, with this transition into having your own business, do you think there was any skills that have transferred that you've been able to use?
The biggest ones absolutely are discipline and work ethic.
Yeah.
I wasn't, like a lot of people who join the Defence Forces go in at 16, 17, 18. I was a little bit older. I was in 22 or 23. So I had a bit of life experience before me, which meant that I'd worked for people previously, which meant that I knew if the boss expected me to be there at 8:30, I should pretty much be there at 8:30 because he's paying me good money for that.
Yeah.
So I brought some of those things into the defence, but man, that was just instilled.
Yeah.
If you're expected to be somewhere, you're expected to look like something, then you just are. You're ready.
Mm-hmm.
And you do the work till the work's done.
Yeah.
So as a business owner, I found that to be critical because you don't work, if you're the business owner, you don't get paid. It's as simple as that.
That's right.
That morning you're not feeling the best, that you don't want to get up and go to work. That's all right. You don't have to. You just don't get paid.
Yeah. Very true. So has there been any, I guess for you, what has been the most rewarding parts of being having your own business?
Well, one is I didn't have to commute.
Yeah. So that saved you, 3 hours a day, you were saying?
In my world, it was basically 3 hours a day. The other big things, though, were just that I never sort of realised at the time I was very goal-orientated.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, the first goal was to get to a point where we weren't going backwards.
Yeah.
And then there was a financial goal of making sure that we could afford to do this next layer of things.
Yep.
And then, the cream on top was what I was also looking for, was that ability to spend more time with my family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knocking off at 3:30 in the afternoon instead of finishing at 5 and then getting home before 7 if traffic's okay was, a huge, huge thing. Yeah, sure, I still work in the evenings with work, but I was there to help out around the house, take the dogs for a walk, kick the footy with the kids. Then I could duck back and finish that paperwork or get things prepped for tomorrow.
Yeah.
There was just a lot more flexibility day to day. Yeah.
Any difficult parts?
Lots of difficult parts. When you start a business, there are 1,000 things you don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Which is why you want support, I guess.
Which is why you want support. But to throw a big one out there is sometimes, like, I'm a big believer in everything has every bad situation does have a silver lining.
Yeah.
So we were running our business for about 18 months and it just got to that point of really starting to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit.
Yep.
That was a challenge. The silver lining, though, was it allowed us to take on work that would have never presented itself to us without the new restrictions in place. Businesses couldn't open up until it was proved that they had professional cleaners in place. Things that were being serviced by volunteers or in-house now had to be serviced externally. And we were in the fortunate position of being able to take up a couple of those opportunities, which financially were great. Were great for us. So, there's those sort of things. but then there's, I said, everything from understanding your self-worth, quoting at a value that you're worth.
Yep.
Having someone talk to you about the value of your worth, as my business coach did, was enlightening. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there's just the list is never ending in regards to hazards in the way.
Yeah.
Some are very small, some of them are quite large.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, what would you say to someone who's considering business ownership today? Any words of advice or things to think about?
Again, understand where you sit financially.
Yeah. Good. That's good. Yeah.
Understand to a degree how much money you have backing yourself and what that means to your how long you can last if things don't go exactly the way you want them to go. Because nothing is as incentivizing as knowing you're running out of money.
Yeah, not wrong. Yes.
But then there's like I said, there's knowing that it will be hard work to establish a successful business, knowing that you need to commit, and not for a week or a month, and probably not for 3 months or 6 months, but potentially for a couple of years of really committing to it. So for me, I said lifestyle and time with family was really important, but I also knew that I had to work really hard for a couple of years, and in that early piece, sacrifice a bit of that to build a successful business, which then gave that back.
Yeah. How long did you have your business?
We had our business for 6 years.
6 years. And you sold last year, and I collared you to join the coaching team with James I guess let's move into that. So as a coach, for someone listening to this, if they were transitioning, decided, business ownership was for me, they did their research. If they came to us, I'd walk them through the information process. And then one of our business coaches, i.e. Greg, possibly, would come alongside, do the training. And so what do you do? Well, I guess firstly, why did you go into the coaching side, and what do you do with people?
Why I went in was we were ready to sell the business, but I wasn't ready to finish working.
Yep.
So once we got our business to a point where we thought we had a saleable asset, I started talking to my business coach, yourself, the CEO, about potential opportunities within head office, because I like the culture and the structure of the way James run their organisation.
Yeah.
And was hoping. One role I did have in the organisation was as a national trainer, so practically training people, and I love doing that. Put the feelers out to see what opportunities might be available moving forward. If there was nothing there, it wasn't going to be the end of the world. I had a few things in the pipeline for when we sold the business. But fortunately, yourself and Rhiannon were able to offer me the role. So I jumped on it.
And the
next day I was there.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So the role itself, so prior to starting, or prior to your business being up and running, there's a lot of footwork that happens to get a business established from a legal perspective, from understanding what's required. Let's get your voicemail set up. Let's get a Google business profile set up. Business is registered. There's a multitude of steps to get your business established. So we'll assist with a lot of that. Then when it comes to the training phase, because we're a franchise, or the organisation that we are, we want people to deliver the product that we want. So, a business coach will spend 3 days teaching you about the business and how to run a business, and then there's some time spent with a practical trainer, a role that I used to have, to see what it's like on the ground, actually doing the role.
Yep.
Once that training phase is finished, there's a bit of a 3-month follow-up phase with the business coach. It's quite structured. It's reviewing a lot of the stuff that we do in the first 3 days of business coaching. It's analysing the data that's going into the system from a business owner's work, and it's identifying, I don't know if weaknesses is the right word, but identifying areas for improvement. So
do you find there's any common areas that people are challenged with when they're starting?
Effectiveness of marketing. Or good marketing.
Okay. Good marketing.
If your business gets to a point where marketing isn't a massive thing, which the last probably 3 years of my business, we didn't market heavily because it was word of mouth, vehicles on the road, referrals from current clients, that sort of stuff that just kept new people coming. But it doesn't start like that. So the value of effective and good marketing is critical to get a business up and running. And some people really don't see that. Or see the value in it. Leads just come, don't they? Not necessarily.
Magic.
There's always a challenge around quoting, and what is my worth? And then there's just overall challenges in regards to running a business. Everything is new, and every question you get, not every question, but the newer you are at doing it, the more chance of running into a question you never thought about before. So as a business coach, it's just expected that those questions that you don't have, that a business owner doesn't have an answer for, their first point of call is speed dial Business Coach 101 and go, hey, I've got this situation. What's any thoughts on what we might be able to do with this, or can I, or can't I, or am I stepping out of my boundary? Or what sort of an opportunity do you think this is? But like I said, for 3 months, it's reasonably structured in regards to looking at how the business is travelling and improving. And then post 3 months, it sort of falls back into a bit more of a support. And from a business coach perspective, you're analysing data to see how a new business is running, and seeing if things are flattening out because the goals have changed. Hey, we're making enough money. I don't need to buy that yacht yet. I'll spend that bit of time with the family and maybe just making that phone call to go, hey, is everything going all right? Yeah, loving it. Get to spend coaching the kids' footy team.
All those things.
Just everything's on the back burner until the finals are over. Oh, cool. No worries.
So do you find this? Well, have you noticed anything that separates good guys that are really successful to those that struggle? Are there any common things that you find separate the two?
I said effective marketing is one. But I think the other one is that at times people don't understand business financials as well as they can. Not everything that comes in the door is profit. Yes, that's good. So therefore they're going, hey, I know we identified that we can break even at this amount of money a week. Well, we're there now. Why do I need to push? And it's like, still some of that has to go to taxes, and some of that has to go here, and some of that's got personal expenses. And that new car you just went and bought, and wasn't in those figures that we worked out early in the piece. And and your wife's or your partner's hours are being cut back at work, so that's impacting that. So that I find something that people have difficulty with. But probably the biggest thing is people, if you're not resetting your own goals all the time, and maybe, if you do it with your business coach or without your business coach, and you really understand where you want your business to go or what you want your business to do, then it's easy to take your foot off the pedal.
Mm.
And that can have, it can slow things down, or it can be a real demotivator.
Yeah. Yep.
I think successful business owners are those that really are driving towards a goal.
Yep. Okay. Excellent. Well, just coming, I guess, to the end, sort of wrapping up now, I guess, any final advice for someone transitioning out of defence and unsure of what's next? What advice would you give to them?
I think I mentioned it before, is that your mental health is a massive part of transitioning out of something like out of a really structured organisation. Defence obviously is a really structured organisation.
Mm-hmm.
FIFO can be a really structured organisation. Moving outside of those boundaries where your community boundaries change drastically can really have an impact psychologically on you. And as hard as it can be, make the effort to get back to your community, whether that be, like I said, it can be footy, cricket, any sort of sport you like. Find a social outlet, go to the gym. Find a dog walking group.
Yeah. And that might involve pushing your comfort zone. Hey, like it's just, it's something you got to do. Yeah.
And it's easy to pull back into your shell, and that shell will just get tighter and tighter around you.
Mm-hmm.
And it is hard to push against it.
Yep. Well, my closing question, big drum roll, final question to throw at you. So if there's one thing you hope veterans understand about life after service, what would it be?
There is so much opportunity out there to do what you want to do. But like everything, you have to make it happen.
Yep.
You might have been a 16-year-old kid in high school who made a decision to go and join the army. You made that decision. It's no different.
Yeah.
If you decide business ownership is something you would like to explore, do the research, look heavily into it, and make the decision. If it's not what you want to do, look at what you can do to become employable, and but you have to make the decision.
Yeah, that's good. Well, thank you so much, Greg, for your time today, and I hope this was helpful to someone who's listening. But thank you.
No worries, Justin.